Well, I don't know what happened. I may or may not be live. I don't know. All I saw was that it had 5 people watching, and then I don't know. I can't even confirm if this is live streaming. Connect streaming software, set up streamer help. Because I wasn't actually able, I wasn't looking at my screen that has YouTube. I was looking at my OBS software as a monitor. And okay, hi Steve. So where did I leave off? I have no idea where things got cut off. No idea. But we're gonna give it another try. Hopefully, for whatever reason, it won't boot me off. Like according to YouTube, I got nothing. According to the actual website, I got nothing. Um, Now we can see me. Well, I literally just tied a whole fly thinking we were live streaming. Um, so, oh my gosh, we were at the description. Okay, well, we'll try it again. All right. Well, let's not pitter patter any longer. Let's just go ahead and spin, spin back around, and hopefully, uh, we'll be able to where to go. There it is. So there's that. That's the Mr. Brown that I tied. Audio is like a Gojira movie. Well, now you don't have to see my face, and oh, left a message on live chat on my website. See, that's another disadvantage is all my technology is being used. You could send me 1,000 messages at like while I think I'm live streaming, and um, I can't see nothing. My camera is my phone, and then I've got the OBS software running in the background. And when I say in the background, literally behind me on the computer. Um, Let me go ahead and try to refresh that page, and hopefully we'll stay connected. I mean, as far as I know, um, yeah. So the reason why it probably kept jumping to a morning tie is because my live stream disconnected at some point. So, anyways, here we are once again. Thank you all for joining me. Wednesday night, Project Healing Waters, yada da 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 da. So, big special thanks to our good friend Dave for literally hooking me up with the Mr. Brown. I got the recipe. Here we go. Hook, Eagle Claw, 410, size 2, 60-degree jig hook. Eyes, 1/40th lead dumbbell tied on top at the 60-degree bend. Thread, 140 denier brown, natural brown turkey, marabou, 1 hook's length, 6 strands of silly legs, barred orange, orange, or black, and then the disco yarn. Maybe tie tight wraps through the eyes, trim short at the eyes, optional brown chenille underbody if you want bulk. So, yeah, I tied a whole one of these when we were thinking we were live streaming, and we actually were not. So I think there might be actually some technical difficulties and glitches regarding YouTube right now. There are things as YouTube outages. So here we go. There is our Eagle Claw 410 size 2, 60 degree. Now talking to Dave, he had mentioned that early on he was tying these on the good old Mustad 3366 size 2, and then at a certain point he went to the jig, the 60 degree jig hook, which in our terrain, in our turf, it's a good thing to have, especially when you are hanging out at the bottom. Now I am not using a 140 denier. If it didn't show it, we are using a 6/0 dark brown, and I'm just going to build up a little bit of a bump, a little bit of a bulk there for my medium dumbbell eye. And here we are, 1/40th of an ounce, aka small, aka size 3, depending on who you're ordering from or what bucket you're pulling them out of. That's 1/40th of an ounce. If you want to translate that to something in metric, you're going to have to ask the Google. I don't know. Alright, let's go ahead and tie these on. Basic cross wraps. It doesn't have to be too fancy. We'll start off with a few this way, and then we'll do a few this way. Lock it in. Lock it in. Alright. Let's give this a little dab of Zap-A-Gap. Yeah, Steve Trybowski has been waiting for this fly, and so have I. Yeah, the Burnett Disco yarn, Mr. Brown. I'm looking for my Zap-A-Gap. I know what the bottle looks like. It's a clear bottle. There it is. I actually cleared off my bench the other day, and as a result, I have all this space up here to loose stuff. A little dab of glue, just enough to wet the thread. It does not take much. Well, I apologize, folks. I really sincerely wish I would have caught this not actually live stream earlier. So my apologies to you guys for that. But, thank you all for joining in. Did I talk about me wanting to do a giveaway next week? So you guys won't want to miss that. I'm going to be giving some stuff away. And I think I'm going to make it as fair as I can. And you have to be watching live to win. Let's go ahead and, so the recipe calls for a natural brown / black turkey marabou. Well, I looked high and low, and guess who could not find, wait a minute, there it is. I knew I had it somewhere. Natural turkey marabou. This is what we're talking about. And that's not what I thought it was. You know when you think you got what you thought you got, and then it turns out it's not exactly what you thought you had. I betcha this will work. Is Dave in the house? Is Dave watching tonight? might take a little bit of a liberty. Alright, this seems like we're gonna go as close as we can, because I got some of this. I'm gonna use this as the marabou. All this fun stuff. So I'm just gonna strip some of this off. Oh, so carefully. And we want to go hook's length. There we go. When I got these short little nubs like this, and I want to add just a little bit of bulk, I'm just going to tie this all in up front, and then just work my thread back. There we go. Alright, we are cooking now. Are we still with me? Alright, it says we got 6 of us tuned in, so I think that's still good. So I'm going to go ahead and readjust after this is all said and done with this live stream tonight. I'm going to have to go back and readjust the situation here. Alright, so I couldn't find any orange barred silly legs, so I am substituting with some speckled silly legs. Close as we can get. I'll just go ahead and carefully rip those off. And guess what? Because we got these two ends together, we'll go ahead and multiply by dividing. And let's look at our official Premium Supremo El Sampo. So we want to go about that long. So we'll tie half in on this side. We'll tie the other half in on the other side. So we got 6, 3 and 3. Sounds fair. Seems legit. And guess what? I'm even going to tie this in all the way up front. That's my additional bulk to the operation. That's my contribution to the bulk underneath. Sometimes if things don't want to behave, they get a little hair clip. Alright, we got a few more tuned in. Alright, Noah, thanks for joining us tonight. Yo, what's up? Ben's in the house. Good evening. Good evening. Alright, so here is the famed Mr. Brown Disco Yarn, which is slightly different than a flutter yarn. I have some other stuff. It's a gilted, G-I-L-T, gilt eyelash material. Now this is the kind of stuff you guys want to look out for. Now when you are out and about, at the Hobby Lobbies, at your craft stores, looking through Grandma's old stuff, you can find magic. Tie it in by the cord. There's the main cord, which is this braided material, and coming off of that is the disco, I guess we could say. So let's tie that in nice and tight back there, and let's tack it in up front. Big old heavy streamer, so we're not counting thread wraps. There we go. All right. Good. James gave me a turkey. Turkey. Gobble till you wobble. Thanks for tuning in, James. Good to see you, bud. Good to see ya. I always say when people say it's good to see you, and an honest, earnest response, I always reply with, you know what? It's honestly, it's good to be seen. Especially these days. Um, I tried my first round. We've tried the curbside pickup at a couple places. And this was my first experience of Aldi curbside pickup through Instacart. And boy, I tell you what, they were cracking the door open to bring out my groceries as I was putting the truck in park. Now, how is that for service? Confirmed who I was, and they loaded me up. I barely had time to read the sign that said, follow the directions on the app. I didn't even have to bother with that. So we're going to keep our material, keep folding it towards the rear. Don't want to trap that disco down. Don't want to hold down the disco. Disco may be dead, but its yarn lives forever. Thank you, Dave. So, in the comments, in the chat, I want everybody to say thank you, Dave. Thank you, Dave. We appreciate you. I don't know if I said it on the earlier live stream or that didn't go live or this live stream, but here in December, this marks the 12-year anniversary of St. Cloud Project Healing Waters. Dave Coleman and Claude put together St. Cloud Project Healing Waters, the local program here with help and the sponsorship of the St. Cloud Fly Anglers Club. And ever since then, we've been making magic happen, even during the pandemic. Lock that down good and tight. Trim that off, and we got plenty to make a few more. And then we'll just roll right into our whip finish. There we go. I like that. Alright, now before we go too far, and we gotta do some trimming. So we'll pull that up, pull that down. Just kind of separate that material. Alright, my first one that nobody got to watch, I think I trimmed it just a little bit too short. So on the bottom, we're going just a little bit more than the hook. And then up top, we're going to try to match that. I don't want to trim off my legs. And we'll try to match that. I think that'll work. The famous Mr. Brown. And we'll hit it with our brush that all out. Now this bad boy is ready for action. Got to give it a quick dab of insurance policy. Any guesses as to what we're going to use for our insurance policy? We're going to add some secret sauce. You guessed it. That is our Sally Hansen's. A little dab of Gluia. I'll go right between those eyes. And we'll get underneath there. And let that absorb in there. And being a bottom dweller, this is why we're going with the secret sauce here. A little bit tougher than just a surface coat. This actually is going to penetrate, soak, and absorb. There. I think that bad boy is ready for action. All right, Dave is in the house. Thank you for tuning in, Dave. Thank you again so much for literally hooking me up with the Mr. Brown materials. Yeah, I had a technical major minor malfunction here on the YouTube end, and the live stream didn't quite kick off as we initially wanted. There was some, I don't know, for whatever reason, we weren't live streaming at our fullest capability, and according to my YouTube webpage, I still haven't connected. So, looks like we're in the house now. So, Dave, thank you so much. I been singing your praises about this pattern. We are ready to swim, I think. Yeah, I think we did fairly well. Close, not exact, but we came close to the original. All right, so let's go ahead and do another one. Hope I got. I'll check that message later. Let's go ahead and hook up and do another one. Set that off to the side. All right, once again, we are using these are eagle claws. This is a 410 size 2, 60 degree. Alright, so in addition, so the Mr. Brown is the original. Mr. Brown, you can't mess around. You can't go wrong with Mr. Brown. Now, in addition to Mr. Brown, we also got some supplies, some extra yarn, some Mr. Green, or Mr. Blue. Got some Mr. Green and chartreuse. And look at this stuff. This is an olive. Holy smokus. I think I'm going to go with this olive one next. Because I don't think you can go wrong with this olive. Wow, Dave. This is some magic here. And that's the thing is, you know, something to pull out of this, ladies and gentlemen, is not all your fly tying material will come from a fly shop. Sometimes you have to borrow, beg, and steal from other bins in the house. Sometimes you gotta go to the craft shop. But actually, you know what? I'm just go. Oh yeah, I think the dark brown will be fine. This should be fine. I'm going to build up just a little bit of a mass for my dumbbell eyes to sit on. And again, these are 1/40th of an ounce, aka size 3, aka size small. And my other ones that I have, my other painted ones are a little bit big, I think. I think those are, what are the other size? Yeah, the other ones I have are size 4 that I use for my Clousers. I think those just might be a little bit too big. It'll stick your eye out, kid. Alright, so we're going to have to be smart with this because we only got 3 of these. Alright. So this is our 1/40th ounce. We're going to set it on top. Right up front, we're going to do a couple of wraps of this away. Nice and tight. Turn. And we'll do a few wraps that away. Crisscross, make you wanna... If you could finish those lines, if you could finish this line, finish this lyric, you grew up with my generation. Crisscross, make you wanna... Alright, little dab of Gluia. We're gonna come in with the good stuff. Some Zap, a Gap. Another trick of the trade, Dave says, you want your CA glue to last a little bit longer, store it in the freezer. Keep it cold, little dab, just enough to wet the thread. That's all you need. Any more would be a waste. Alright, we'll come in and do a few more wraps, working our thread into that. And that just soaks up any excess glue that might be. Here we go. You know where that's going? Nowhere. That's where. There you go, Josh, my man. Alright, let's go ahead and work our thread front to rear. And we're going to take this right to the bend. Right there, tip of the hook, tip of the barb. And my PSA announcement regarding barbs on hooks. Barbs are generally what hold the bait on. And if you're not fishing with bait, then what are you doing with... Oh, you know what? I just found my barred brown legs. We're going to add this on the this one, on the Mr. Green, Mr. Olive. I guess we'll call it Mr. Olive. And we're going to do the same turkey marabou. Alright, I'm going to pluck this right off the side. Here we go. This is just 100% natural. This is just a little bit denser than our last time. There's a hook's length. Alright, let's go ahead and run this forward. And that's just my little way of getting the material in as bulk. If you got a long marabou feather, you can wrap it around, or like in the original recipe calls for, you could add some brown chenille underneath there if you so chose. So we're going to go with the olive, but do I have an olive barred leg? Let's take a second look twice. I don't know why that's in there. I got a label mop bodies. That's definitely not mop bodies. Alright, we'll go with this. Ooh, this one will go good with the next one. Alright, let's go with 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I like to just, if they don't want to just rip right off nice and clean, then take the scissors to them, but sometimes you can just grip them and rip them. Multiply by dividing. Just trim those. Alright, we're going to do 3 and 3. 3 on either side. I'm going to set one of these down for meow. And so far we've been just basically tying it in just behind the eye, the dumbbell eye, as far as the proportion and length and such goes. We definitely want, I don't know, about a thumb's width, finger's width hanging out behind the marabou. Alright, let's go ahead and tie this in on the far side. So we got all these silly legs back there being silly. Go ahead and just work our way up, tying this in, and this is just adding bulk, adding just a little extra to the shank of the hook. Nice and tight, nice and tight. Slack is evil. Alright, we're going to go with the olive. So this is Mr. Olive, I guess we're going to call it. Cousin to Mr. Brown. And from what I can tell, there's really no bias as to, which end is which. So we're going to just leave that as it is. Alright, so there's the sewn, kind of the core of it. Alright, you can see the core. And we're going to just, like we do with like chenille and stuff, we're just going to trim off some of the edge so we can get a little bit closer to the core. We're going to tie that bad boy in. Right there, just like so. And we'll work our way forward with that. And we'll park our thread right there behind the dumbbell eyes. All right. Let's go ahead and start wrapping this forward. Touching wraps. Now, I'm not 100% sure. Maybe I should ask. Dave, do you add any Zap-A-Gap for this step? Or do you just keep your thread wraps nice and tight? It's pretty stout, sturdy material. I really can't imagine this really needing, we don't need to tie a wire through it, but I really don't think this would really need any Zap-A-Gap under there. Not if you tie it on nice and tight. Alright. You know what? I'm going to just do one more wrap up front. Because I think that's what we meant by through the eyes. Well, you wouldn't necessarily want or need a weed guard on here, as it is on a jig hook with that weight. Theoretically, we wouldn't, we should be riding hook side up on this. I'll just do our whip finish right up here. Oops, a little bit too tight. Adding a weed guard to most flies is relatively simple. It's just really a matter of what you use and such. But me personally, I really haven't added too much, tied in too many weed guards. Just basically because the terrain I fish really don't get into the weeds too much. Weeds have not been my major issue. Rocks and trees and branches and such, now those wreck my day. And it always seems like the very first cast, I'll throw this Mr. Brown out there in my first or second cast. Bam! That's when I snag it on a. When I pull out the Mr. Brown or the fly of the day, it's like I'm pulling out all the stops. It's like, come on, guys, let's catch a fish. Let's trick the fish. Now, when I fish with Dave's flies, with Dave's patterns, I honestly, legitimately think that the fish think it's Dave. When they see a Mr. Brown or a fly of the day, those fish pay attention. They, whoa, it's our friend Dave. Let's go say hi. And I catch a fish. And it's like, whoa, that's pretty cool. Let's see if we can't pick this out just a little bit more. Alright, let's go ahead and give this a little bit of a trim. Key being a little, just a little. We don't want to take too much off. I think that'll do us. And if I was feeling really scrappy, these little bits of material that I just snipped off, that would probably translate into some decent dubbing. So this is the Mr. Olive, cousin to Mr. Brown. Outstanding. Thank you, Dave. No glue. No CA glue. No super glue. No super duper glue. Except for around the dumbbell eyes. And Josh says that he found some Mr. Brown on Etsy. Alright. So we got a Mr. Brown. We got our Mr. Olive. Let's go ahead and do what's next is going to be Mr. Blue, I presume. We'll put the olive back. Here we go. And then we'll do our last one. We'll do a chartreuse. If it ain't chartreuse, it ain't no use. So, let's see. Oh, wow, we got 8 of us tuned in. Thanks for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate it. We do this every Wednesday. Rain or shine, this is in support of the St. Cloud Project Healing Waters program. Questions, comments, concerns about Project Healing Waters, go ahead and look them up on the Googleable at projecthealingwaters.org. But here we are. We are going to work on, we started with Mr. Brown. We've ventured into off the beaten path. And we are experimenting, not experimenting, but we are working with a Mr. Blue, a Mr. Olive, and we're going to do a Mr. Chartreuse next. Let's get our hook in. I'll have to do some digging for if I have any of these in my jig hooks. I got a lot of 90-degree jig hooks and a lot of big old hooks, but these are Eagle Claws. 410 size to 60-degree jig hooks. I need to leave that label with my, I'm going to leave the label and one last hook in that bag and leave it with my material here so I don't biff it and kiss it goodbye. So we're going to do one more after this, and that's going to leave us with one last dumbbell eye. Alright, so we're going to switch to Mr. Blue. I don't have any blue thread, but I do have, I don't know, not like it really matters, but we're going to go with this purple thread, because I got purple thread. Purple thread will look great with Mr. Blue, I do think. And it's a lot smaller than what we need, but it will work. And we're going to build up a little bit of a bump, a little bit of a bulk, and this just gives, you don't have to make the saddle, you don't have to do 2 bumps or saddle or camel humps or whatever you want to call it. You just need a little bit of a mass for, and that's, you know, we're talking just a little bit, but the gap, the space, the surface contact compared from there to there, at least on paper, in theory, is a little bit different, a little bit greater. But this will also give our glue, our CA glue, our crazy glue, our Zappa Gap, something to set into, which is what we're going to add now. A bit of insurance policy. They should call it liquid insurance. Little dab of glue. Again, we're just going to add just enough to wet the thread. You don't have to go 2 bananas. There we go. One little droplet. Alright, we can work our thread into that glue. Continuing our figure 8s, lashing that in. I want to do a few turns back there, a few turns up here. Excellent. Alright, you know where those are going? Nowhere, that's where. Alright, let's see here. It's throwing me off because our live stream time is only at 45 minutes, but we're like an hour and 15 minutes into the live stream, but I don't know. Things are definitely weird. There's been some, or I guess there was a major Google, YouTube, whatever, like everything was TKO'd, not working. Thanks for playing. Come back later status. Um, which can be interesting. Let's go ahead and get some natural gobble till you wobble. Ali sheesh. That's turkey there, don't you know? Alright, we'll go with a hook's length. That should work. Bump our thread forward. And we're just going to tie this all down. Yeah, buddy, that's going to give us some bulk, baby, bulk. Alright, and we were going to add some silly legs. Now, it'd be silly to add a brown barred leg or anything like that, so we want to find something fun and exciting for the back end of this one. That's a little bit too loud. We need something with a little less volume on that. That's the sound of me digging through my silly legs. I thought I sat those blue ones to the side. There we go. There we go. Now I see them. I got a big... my bag of legs. Look at these smoky ones. These are going to look great with the blue. So let's take 1, 2 tray, just like we did before. Multiply by dividing. Just like that. I like those little blue tips on there too. And because I left the ends all kind of mashed together, we don't necessarily have to worry about them running all over the place. We'll split them half on this side, and we'll do the other half on the other side. Roughly about that same length. Oh, I felt it. Nick that tip of that hook. And there it goes. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. Nothing will break your thread faster than the tip of a hook. That has not happened yet to me today, but it's the first time for everything. Let me go ahead and get this re-threaded in. Here we go. Alright, let's start our thread up here. And then we'll go back here, reinforce all that jazz. There, it's like we never screwed up. Where'd it go? There's the other one. Alright, we'll try that again. Here we go, I like it. that last little bit of that piece that broke. There. Like it never not happened. Alright, let's go ahead. Let's tie in our Mr. Blue. Baba Baloo, Mr. Baloo. So Dave, out of all the colors, what color pattern has been the most effective? If I were to guess, it would be Mr. Brown. But, I mean, it's only effective if that's what you got tied on. There we go, nice and tight. Yeah, buddy. All right. And I'm being stingy. I got this, I don't know, maybe 3 foot, 4 foot length of yarn here, and I'm not trimming. I'm just gonna deal with it. I'm just gonna send it. Just gonna work with it. And I got this big bulk, and it's gonna get twisted over here on my right hand side. You can't see it, but it's off to the right, and it's gonna be getting twisted. But I really don't like trimming my material before I tie it on. I think you end up with lots of little nubs, lots of waste, a lot of scraps. I mean, scraps are good, right? So, let's see here. We got this happening this week. We're going to have our Christmas special holiday extravaganza next Wednesday. And if you haven't heard, you'll want to tune in next week because we're going to do a little bit of a giveaway. I'm going to have a couple of things to give away. It's going to be super fair, super square. I'm going to have you guys let me know if you want to participate during the live stream. I'll assign you a number right then and there on the spot because we're not looking at that many people here. We got, 8, 9 of us tuned in tonight. So your odds are going to be pretty good. You're going to have like a 1 in 8, 1 in 9 chance for this big giveaway. Well, not a big giveaway, small little giveaway. A little holiday giveaway. A little holiday love. And my dad, family, is not eligible. Void where prohibited. Not available in all stores. Let's go ahead. Oh yeah, we're gonna wrap this through the eyes once. Yeah. Well, that didn't work. That didn't work. That didn't work. My yarn got a hold of my dubbing shepherd's hook. All right. And secure that down. There we go. It's kind of interesting finishing things off at a 60-degree bend, but it works. Yeah. See all this junk up here. That's nice. Alright, there's a Mr. Blue. We'll add a little bit of glue. Pull this up. Pull you down. We'll give it a little bit of a trim. Just enough to really not get caught into the hook. The eye of the hook, I guess. There we go. Let's brush it out. Oh, we gotta add a little dab of glue, yeah. A little bit of insurance on top. Put the Mr. Green away. And where'd the Sallies go? A little drop of the secret sauce. Alrighty. A little dab of glue. Right there, that's all you need. Alright, there's a Mr. Blue variation based off of the Mr. Brown, based off of the, I guess, the Mr. Brown. So far, we're doing good. We got our Mr. Brown, our Mr. Green. We got a Mr. Blue. Now, last but not least, we're going to do our Mr. Chartreuse. Put the blue away. Alright, so let's grab ourselves our hook. And again, we are using an eagle claw. Eagle Claw 410s. So after today, there's probably whoever's running the Etsy shop that's got the bonafide Mr. Brown. It's like, what the heck is going on? Why do I have like 30 hits all of a sudden? Alright, let's go ahead and switch threads. Let's go with something bright and green. Man, the whole lineup, the Mr. Brown family. Mr. Brown and Friends. We like that. We like Mr. Brown and Friends. Just building a little base for our 1/40th of an ounce. You take 40 of these little guys, you line them all up, and you got yourself an ounce. That's how that works, you know. I don't know. Alright. Tie this in on top. We'll just take a couple wraps of this away. And then we'll switch directions. Take a few wraps the other way. Do a couple lashes. And we'll just pause right there. And I like adding my glue a little dab, and then I like wrapping my last few wraps of thread on top, really working it in, getting maximum absorption into the thread there, don't you know? A little dab of glue. Of course, the cap would be, everything's going to be glued up now after being oh so careful with it all night. Alright, let's see if we can't get a little glue out this time. And the last thing you want is for your Zap-A-Gap to come shooting out at 1,000 miles an hour, 3 gallons per second. Oh yeah, little touch there, a little dab of glue, just a drop of insurance. All right. Work our thread into that glue, and we'll lash it around. A few wraps this way, and a few more that way. And that's going nowhere. All right, let's go ahead and work our thread to the rear. All right, right to that bend. All right, so we're gonna go just like Dave's little sample here. Now this is just on a, feels like it's a 3366. Same 1/40th ounce eyes. Looks like Dave's got a little dab of two-tone. Little two-tone action there. So let's see what we can do. I'm looking for just the right olive marabou. I think that's gonna be it. And we want our natural on bottom. We're gonna do a little two-tone action. Two-tone microphone. So let's go ahead and add a pinch. There, and then our little batch of olive. Now, check this out, ladies and gentlemen. This is an actual moment because this bag of marabou was from my beginner kit. This is the last of my beginner kit marabou that's been around for quite some time. So the circle is going to continue. We're going to just grab a little tuff of that. There we go. And there we go. And I broke my thread. Too much tension. I'd rather have too much tension than not enough. Boy, that olive just leached right off. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Key lime. Key lime. We like key lime. A little squeaky bobbin. What do you know? Alright, we're going to find ourselves some rubber legs, some silly legs for back there. Ooh, these look interesting. Let's go with these ones. So we're going to do 6 total, 3 on either side. And we're taking these out just a tick past the tail. So far, I found that if I just tie them, the front of the rubber way right up behind the dumbbell eyes. You know what? Let me do that once. Let me just tie it in right there. Then we'll tie in the other one. Same thing. Here we go. 3 on either side. That's what we're looking for. I might trim those down riverside, maybe not. Depends if I start getting some short strikes. But compared to Exhibit A, we do got a little bit of length coming off. So we're right there. I might just be a bar or two long, but I think that'll work for meow. Alright. What color was I doing? Okay, this is key lime. Mr. Key Lime. Flutter butter yarn. Or disco yarn. Disco yarn, flutter yarn. Who knows? Alright, let's tie some of this in. Just get me down to the core. That's what we're after here. Hot dog, here we go. Who's ready? I'm ready. Alright, keep the material facing towards the rear as best as you can. And we're going to keep our thread wraps, as they say, gut and tight. Nice and tight. I honestly, with this pattern, I feel like I'm tying up magic. And I say that now. Just wait till 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks from now, we're gonna, the last fly of the year will be the first fly of the day. So our last fly of the year for our live streaming season will be a fly of the day. Alright, I'll take a couple of reps up front. I think that's how we're supposed to do that. And then we'll lock this off. Save the rest of you for a rainy day. We'll build a small little head. Secure that all down. You can tell I'm using a little bit thinner of a thread than a 140. That'll work. Need the anti-squeaking material agency on that. Now here is, that broke off. Good thing we did it twice. Add our insurance policy first real quick. Actually, no, we want to, I'm not even going to trim. Should I trim that, Dave? I don't think so. Where'd your other one go? I think I'm just going to trim that just a little bit right around the eyes. Yeah. Just a little bit of a taper to it. And then we'll add our little dab of glue to the bottom. There, and you know where that's going? Nowhere. That's where? Alright, so even though we got a little bit of a late start, a botched start, we got a few of them done. We got the original Mr. Brown, green, key lime, we've got the olive, and the Bubba Baloo. So I think we're going to leave it at that. I'm not going to try to crank one more out in 15 minutes. We'll just go ahead and spin put the brown, put the original, put the sample back up. The original Mr. Brown. So I can see, one of the things I can tell, the difference between the key lime and this other one, maybe it's because I didn't brush it out. Let me go ahead and brush this out. That's one thing I didn't do. Yeah, the fibers don't appear, they don't quite as fluff out as much as you would expect. I mean, maybe it's just, we just need to tickle it a little bit more. Yeah, definitely does not brush out the same as an observation. So, there's only one original Mr. Brown. The rest are all substitutions. So, what do you think? Questions, comments, concerns, any suggestions for next week? What do we want to tie next week? I'm going to do something holiday-ish. Like I said, we've done some other things in the past. I've tied Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I don't think I've actually have done a Christmas tree, but I don't think it's well, I don't know. I might have the blue, not the blue, the green deer hair to spin it now. Maybe, I don't know. We'll have to see what we tie next week, but it will be a fun day. I'll be wearing my ugly sweater. And even though nobody will know other than you, I encourage you to toss on an ugly sweater for next week as well. Here we go. So, I think I'm going to go ahead and just leave it at that. My back is killing me. It's been a long, rough day for the back. Man, my poor casting arm is just TKO'd right now. My fishing arm. I just got no actual grip. Working on it, doing my exercises. I got a strap that I wear now. But thank you all for joining. We're going to do this again next week for our little holiday special. Again, big special thank you to Dave. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We can't thank you enough for hooking me up with the materials to share with everybody. So, yeah. Thank you, Dave. Really, really appreciate it. Again, join me next week. We do this again. We also live stream Monday mornings for the most part, starting at 9 o'clock. So thank you all for tuning in. Happy tying. Please be healthy, everybody. Please be safe. Please take care of each other. Yeah. Happy tying and tight lines. Peace.